Welcome back, everyone. I am here with Brian Jessen with Wintrust Mortgage, and I would imagine by now you've seen some of our other videos. Well, this particular video is going to be about the, the realtor side of this pre-approval letter. And when I speak, I'm talking about when I work with a client, I'm always asking, show me your pre-approval letter. Because with that, I'm able to learn what are your numbers looking like? What are the conditions under which you have to buy? Some buyers I have need assistance from the seller. Possibly they're getting a gift. I need to know so I can structure your offer according to that. As far as when I'm a listing agent and someone presents a pre-approval letter, my concern is how much have they been vetted by that lender? So I am going to be picking up the phone and I am going to reach out to your lender and I'm going to ask them questions. And one of the questions that I may ask has to do with what conditions have yet to be met. And when I say that, lenders will be very specific to say, well, we don't have this or we don't have that. Or they may say, we have everything in and this offer is only subject to an appraisal. And when I hear that, I am just thrilled to death because what I want to hear is that you're qualified. And I don't want to wonder about you. If I'm going to have my client, my seller, accept your offer, I would like to know that I'm working with someone who has their act together. And by doing that, if you're in a multiple offer situation and I've got your offer, which is clean, subject to an appraisal only, and I have another buyer and their letter is saying, well, we have this laundry list of conditions. Even if that other offer seemed like it's a better offer, maybe it's a little higher, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to question how far along are they in this process? And do they have so much to perform to that they're really not ready? They're not ready to make an offer because their pre-approval is muddy. I don't even know if there's a word for it. Do you have a
Yeah.
word for it, Brian?
Well, it's like very convoluted. It's really not a pre-approval. Like I said, it could have been a quick conversation with maybe a credit pull, maybe not. But like if Celeste is calling me as a listing agent, we can say, yeah, we can do a quicker closing if both parties want that to happen because we have the most of documentation that we need. Um, we make it specific to the property that you're bidding on, so they know it's appropriate to that property. We don't tell them your maximum price, that you're willing to pay, but they know that we've looked at that property, know the taxes, what the insurance might be, and things like that. We also can put in our letter, if you're comfortable with it, if it can be with or without the sale of your home. So if you have another property and you're moving from a condo to a single family home, or whatever it might be, moving from California to Chicago, and you don't need to sell your California property to qualify for the new Chicago property, with your permission as our client, we can put that in the letter. So Celeste is looking at that either from as the buyer's rep or receiving an offer, knowing again more certainty that you're actually going to close because she doesn't have to worry about if your other property is sold or not because it's approved without worrying about that sale. So that's a couple things. And again, not to beat our chest too hard, but our letters with Wintrust have a higher level of reliability because the quality of the people usually working there are quite high and their knowledge base is high and the letters have been vetted. It's not just like I said, a fly by night conversation. And one thing I think that if Celeste is representing you as a buyer, you're a buyer, or she's the listing, I always tell the buyer's agent to have the listing agent call me so that we can go through, yes, they're qualified. Yes, we have run their income, their assets and underwriting and to run their credit. And, I'm not telling them what price you're going to pay because it's none of their business. You guys negotiate that out. But, we're adding reliability and certainty. And whether they know me or not, they know the name of Wintrust. So what's your view on that when you call lenders, Celeste?
Well, so I'm going to add to that, and I could have a conversation for an hour about how many times I've had a client work with a lender that was somebody I didn't know. And also, I mean, very blaringly, it was clear that this other lender it almost appeared like they had just gotten their lending license because the quality of the lending, the letter was they hadn't asked the right questions. They had not discovered that the buyer didn't even have the funds in their account. They went with a verbal, oh, we have this money. And unfortunately, the money wasn't sitting in the client's actual checking account. And so that then delayed their ability to purchase. Now, that's one example. I've had others where the lender didn't ask whether or not the buyer had had a prior foreclosure, and the foreclosure happened only a year ago. So I find myself saying, why is it that they're not asking these questions? Don't they have a checklist of questions that they run through just to ask, where's your money sitting? Where is it today? Or where are you sourcing your money from? Is it just a bunch of cash? Or do you have it? Is there a paper trail? Because the lender is going to want to know that stuff. And the conversation needs to be had. Someone who is buying a home is going to be asked a lot of questions, not to be suspect of who you are, but because they want to guarantee that the information you're sharing with them is correct. It's what it is. And I will say, I have experienced people receiving a gift from family. However, it's important that you understand it needs to be a gift. It cannot be a loan. Am I correct, Brian?
It has to be something that they don't expect repayment. A couple things onto what um, Celeste was saying is, you don't want somebody, at least as a lender, too salesman-y. They really should have your best interest at heart. You don't want them to be selling you the Brooklyn Bridge, which is right behind there, which I can't point to. There it is. Uh, you want to make sure they're not selling you the Brooklyn Bridge. They're actually giving you accurate information. So it is important that they have your best interest at heart. And if it takes an extra little bit of time, we're talking about you can get a pre-approval done in a day or less than a day if you have the information handy to get to them, or you give them the resources they need. What if you have a CPA that files your taxes? Well, we can get a hold of them, or we can get a hold of your investment person if you have an investment person to get statements. They really just need your permission to provide it to us. So you need to do a quick email to them, to your CPA, to your financial person or your banker to get those statements to us. So if you're busy, at work that day, you can get other people to do the work that's needed, and you can fill out the application online with us, so we can do it over the phone. But again, it's really making sure
I'm
you.
going to add to this. Uh, don't rush through this process. If you know you're going to want to buy a home, get in touch with the lender today. Get the information today. You may not be out looking for another week or two, but to know in advance and not rush through this experience is to your benefit. So that if there is something that's outstanding, that at least you have the time to get it. Because the alternative to that is I have people reach out to me. They want to go out and look at a home, or they have already found something and they're like, Celeste, this is what I want to buy, but they don't have a letter and they haven't gotten, they might have a pre-qualification, but they don't have their pre-approval letter that says they have been vetted and things are checked off and things are ready to go. So do yourself a favor and in advance of actually shopping, get your letter together.
Yeah, and also too, like Celeste said earlier, it avoids issues. So if you have a credit issue that you might have not even been aware of, we have time to address it, try to get it taken care of, even possibly get removed from your credit report. We can rescore the credit to get a higher credit score if it's incorrect, to help not only improve your credit score, but improve the pricing on your mortgage loan too. So we'll help you with credit issues. I have a credit repair person that I known for a long time, and I don't get anything from that other knowing that they're reliable and they're going to try to help you with credit issues if they think that they can help you, or if it's going to be helpful to work with them. So again, a lot of that stuff can be handled. Supposedly, the statistic is 2/3 of people have something on their credit report that's inaccurate. So that's a lot of percentage of people. So if we're running your credit and something doesn't seem right to you, sometimes you have the same name as your father, like you're the junior and he's a senior, and some of their stuff is showing up on your credit report. which is not accurate. So there's lots of situations where if we have enough time, we have time to fix those situations, help you out, and help you out, not just for the mortgage, but overall help your credit for other things. So when you go to buy
Yeah.
down the line or whatever it might be. So our job is to try to help you. And again, if your timing is you want to buy something this spring, or maybe you want to wait when you're closer when your lease is up, or you want to get used to the neighborhood you're leasing in before you buy, for me, it's not so much the timing, it's more helping you, giving you knowledge, getting you set up so you're comfortable when you are ready to move forward. But doing it ahead of time versus calling at Saturday morning at 8 o'clock because you're going to go see a property at 10 and you need a pre-approval letter, you know that's not going to go well because no one's going to vet you out properly in an hour or so. So again, it doesn't take weeks. It's not going to take that long, but doing it in front really has no risk to you because if you have the information now, or we can address issues now, it's only going to benefit you, and it costs you nothing, and there's no risk. So there's really no downside. And if you decide not to buy this year, then we just take that base of information and start again next year and get the updated information. So I really don't
That's
downside at all, other than it avoids a lot of stress, which is, I think, a real upside.
That's a great advice, Brian. And I hope that you all are hearing this to make your own experience a good one, because that's what this is all about. So thank you again, Brian, and thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for our next video.
Sounds terrific. Bye now.
Thank you.